Assalamu alaikum. This lecture is for BBA8 and the subject is International Business and Trade, and this is presented by Ms. Zahra. The chapter which we are going to discuss today is the international economic environment, in which we will discuss economic system and economic structure in detail. First of all, we need to know the importance of economic environment. International managers need to take an interest in both economic structure of the country and the international economy as a whole. Why do you need to know about this? To establish the size and characteristics of the various market, to assess the degree of risk attached to the operating in specific nations, to identify high growth sector, to make investment decision and to deploy company resources in the most effective way. मीन्स अब लोगों को इंटरनेशनल मैनेजर्स को क्या है कि दे नीड टू टेक इंटरेस्ट इन बोथ इकोनॉमिक स्ट्रक्चर। अब उनको क्योंकि उन्होंने इन्वेस्टमेंट करनी है, उन्होंने ये देखना है कि किस कंट्री में कितना रिस्क है, उन्होंने ये देखना है कि उन्होंने इन्वेस्टमेंट कहाँ पे करनी है, किस मार्केट का साइज़ बड़ा है तो किसका छोटा है, कहाँ पे रिस्क ज़्यादा है तो कहाँ पे रिस्क कम है। उन्होंने ये देखना है कि किस सेक्टर में ग्रोथ ज़्यादा है और किस सेक्टर में ग्रोथ कम है, so that they can deploy their resources in the most effective way. That is why there is a need for economic environment. Moving forward, we need to know the economic system. For economic system in detail, first of all, we need to know national economic policies. That what should be the national economic policies? All the governments would claim to aspire to attainment of four major economic objectives. There are four main economic objectives that every government need to obtain. Number one is full employment. Number two is high rate of economic growth. Number three is low rate of inflation, and number four is the absence of deficit in country's balance of payment. Now, keep it in your mind that if an economy will achieve first pair of these aims, they are usually damaging the second pair. For example, expansionary measures such as low interest rate, tax cut, and increase in public spending stimulate the economy and create jobs, but also encourages firms to raise their prices, workers to demand higher wages. So we can clearly see that with attaining the first two objectives, we are damaging the second pair of these objectives. Now, moving forward, we should know that what is the foreign economic policy. This comprises all the government policies and the decision concerning the magnitude, composition, and direction and the nature of the country's international trade and investment. There are specific targets of the foreign economic policy might include the following. Number one is the reduction of the country's dependence on international trade. They said that foreign economic policy should be of the view that the country should not depend on the international trade. They are justifying it on the grounds that international trade creates economic instability, it discourages self sufficiency, it damages domestic industry, and it makes countries' economic welfare dependent on foreign market. So they are of the view that the country's dependence on international trade should be reduced. The second point for the foreign economic policy would be the expansion of direct foreign investment. Direct foreign expansion should be expanded and encouragement of the foreign direct investment in order to maximize the benefit of international specialization, increase the choice of goods available to the domestic consumer, and it also enables domestic companies to obtain economies of scale. Number three is maintenance of domestic employment. That domestic employment should be attained through controlling imports of the items and offering large inducement to foreign firms. Number four is to attain equilibrium in the balance of payment. To attain equilibrium in the balance of payment means that there should be equilibrium in the export and import of the country. And the last one is stimulation of domestic economic development, means that it should stimulate the domestic industry, means to protect infant industries. Moving forward, free market economies. Now, what is free market economy? Free market is the market which is free, means the things are settled by the demand and supply forces, not by the government. There is no authority, so that market is known as free market. Now, what is the advantage of the free market? The main advantage of the free market is that it guarantees the attainment of just and equitable society. Business people will not only increase their profit for themselves, but they will do so for the society as well. And the number three is that the price will decide the production, means that the price will decide that what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. Now, what are the disadvantages of the free market economy? Number one is that they says that in the free market economy there is no state, there is no authority. For some planning there should be state intervention. So it says that intervention is essential. Number two is workers are more likely to be exploited. In this, we say that the workers are exploited by the free market people. They think that they have the authority, so they can do anything. So they can make the monopolies. By making monopolies, the prices will increase, and when the prices will increase, the inequality gap, the gap between rich and poor, will also increase. Moving forward, there is another topic which is interventionism. What is interventionism? It is just opposite to free market, in which there is an intervention, means there is intervening, someone is intervening. Interventionism, politics. It is a political term for significant activity undertaken by a state to influence something not directly under its control. So it means when the government is intervening, that is known as interventionism. Now, what are the advantages of interventionism? With interventionism, production and employment level are not dependent on the market, but rather on the systematic national economic planning. They will plan according to the needs of the society, that which sector should be flourished, which thing should be produced. Secondly, the dignity of the labor is recognized. That means workers are regarded at the national level as a genuine social partner and not merely as another means of producing output. Number third one is environmentally damaging and other anti-social consequences of free market activities can be prevented. Number four is equal distribution of wealth. The state can promote equality of the income distribution among the population. Now, last one is optimum allocation of resources. That when the state is intervening, so it can optimally allocate the resources where it is necessary, and where it is not, so they will not allocate the resources over there. Now, what are the disadvantages of interventionism? Number one is important economic decisions taken by the incompetent bureaucrats. Sometimes what will happen, that few economic decisions affecting the wealth of millions of the people into the hand of small number of incompetent bureaucrats. Number two is it causes industries to be inflexible and resistant to change, means the profit motive which frequently impels the introduction of new technologies and method is artificially constrained. अब लोग क्या करेंगे कि उनको है ही नहीं कि उन्होंने प्रॉफिट अर्न करना है, so वो न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी को इंट्रोड्यूस ही नहीं करेंगे. Third one is distort the pattern of the competition and give unfair advantage to certain enterprises, industries and employer group. And the number fourth is it restrict personal freedom. Moving forward, now we are going to discuss the economic structure. Variables frequently examined when assessing national economic environment include the following. Number one is the economic structure and economic infrastructure. What is economic structure? Economic structure is determined by the size and the rate of the growth of its population and the income level, etc. Now, what is economic infrastructure? It is the totality of the external facilities and the services. For example, communication and transport, electricity supply, and commercial infrastructure. Number two is industrial structures. Now they need to know that what is the industrial structure, what are the barriers that the industry is facing, what are the numbers of the competing firms, what is the average size of the competing units, and what are the shares of the firms के शेयर रफली इक्वल शेयर है सबके पास के कुछ फर्म जो हैं वो डोमिनेंट फर्म्स हैं तो इंडस्ट्री का शेयर जो है वो पता होना चाहिए. देन मार्केट ग्रोथ. दिस इज यूजुअली मेजर्ड इन रियल लोकल करेंसी. कभी कभार ऐसा होता है कि प्राइसेस बढ़ जाती हैं तो आपकी जीडीपी तो बढ़ रही है लेकिन असल में आउटपुट उतनी ही होती है. प्राइसेस डबल होगी, जीडीपी भी डबल होगी, बट आपकी मार्केट में ग्रोथ नहीं हुई, आपकी जो आउटपुट है वो उतनी की उतनी ही रह जाती है. देन इनकम लेवल्स. Income level is calculated by GDP or by the rate of economic growth. A country might have a high per capita GDP yet it might experience stagnant rate of growth. जरूरी नहीं है कि उसकी GDP ज़्यादा है, हमने देखना है क्या वो ग्रो कर रही है कि नहीं कर रही है. Then sectoral trends. Growth and economic activity within a country might vary significantly among different industrial sectors. कि जो डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्रीज के सेक्टर है उनका क्या ट्रेंड जा रहा है, कौन सा सेक्टर ज़्यादा ग्रो कर रहा है, कौन सा सेक्टर कम ग्रो कर रहा है. देन ओपननेस ऑफ द इकोनॉमी. द रेशियो ऑफ द कंट्रीज इम्पोर्ट एंड एक्सपोर्ट शुड बी equal or it could be in the surplus, it shouldn't be in the deficit. Then international indebtedness. The comparison of the nation's obligation to service and repay foreign debt with its foreign exchange earnings show its capacity to remain solvent in the face of balance of payment crisis. अब इतने हम उधार लेते हैं, उनको जो पे करना है क्या हमारे पास इतनी कैपेसिटी है कि हम उनको पे कर सकते हैं कि नहीं कर सकते. द लास्ट वन इज डिग्री ऑफ अर्बनाइजेशन. डिग्री ऑफ अर्बनाइजेशन में हमने देखना है कि क्या क्या है, शॉपिंग मॉल्स कितने हैं, गुड्स किस तरह की जो है परचेज करें लोगों का एक्सपेक्टेशंस क्या है रिलेटेड टू द क्वालिटी ऑफ प्रोडक्ट, उनकी एजुकेशन लेवल क्या है, एंड व्हाट इज द ईट with which goods can be distributed. So these all things should be discussed. Now I have given you the assignment. These are two questions. You have to solve it and send it back to me. Thank you.